Alright, the next type of problem we're going to do is with a binomial times a binomial, and we're going to use an acronym called FOIL. And so what we're going to be doing is multiplying the first terms, then the outer terms, then the inside terms, and the last terms. So let me go ahead and show you what that means. I don't think it's a big deal to really say FOIL or not use FOIL, but a lot of people talk about foiling, so I will mention it. The first terms are considered to be the first terms of your binomial, so the x times the x. So that would be your first terms, the f. The outer terms are considered to be the outermost of the parentheses, so that's your O. But really what you're doing, and the logic behind this, is you're really distributing this x to both of the terms, the second set of parentheses. Then what you're doing is you're taking the second term, which happens to be a -1, and you're distributing it to both sets of the parentheses. These are your inside terms. And finally, you take your -1 times the 9, which would be your last terms. So there's the first, outer, inner, last. Now let's go ahead and multiply those together. Blue, so x times x would be x squared. My outer terms were done in red, so x times 9 is 9x. My inner terms are -1x, and then my last terms is -1 times 9, which is -9. Really, again, all we're doing is we're taking this first term and distributing it to the second set of parentheses. Then we're taking the second term and distributing it to the second set of parentheses. So we're doing two sets of distribution. The last thing we can do on these problems is we do end up with like terms. So my final answer is going to be x squared plus 8x plus -9. On the next example, I'll go ahead and use the colors again. Here's my first terms. First times first is x squared. My outer terms, x times -10 is -10x. Inner terms, 3 times x is 3x. And then my last terms, 3 times -10 is -30. Combine my like terms together, I end up getting x squared, -10 and +3 is -7x. And then plus -30. My last example, a lot of people want to just distribute this through, but that's not legal. What this really says is I have m minus 3 times m minus 3. So what that means is I really am going to be foiling again. I'm going to take my first times my first, which gives me m squared. I'm going to take my outer terms and multiply them together, which gives me m times -3, which is -3m. And then I'm going to take my inside term, -3 times m, which is -3m. Then I'm going to take my last term, multiply them together. -3 times -3 is a +9. So I've got m squared, -3 and -3 is -6m, and then plus 9.